And the rest of the course, you have to be a bit technical. You know, it's a bit tough. So if you get lost, you have to make up time for it, and you know, just stay on both wheels.
Yeah, so like you're saying, there's a lot of new features. You have the long box. You have 2 different box jumps options. You have 2 different kind of step up or step
and the rest
down
of the course, you
like
have to be a bit
really
technical.
Unique,
you know, it's a
step
bit
down
tough.
spine.
So if
where we see a
you
lot
get
of
lost, you have to
massive
make up
tricks.
time for it. And, you know,
then also we have this bowl section. Where do you see
both wheels.
The diversity?
Yeah, so like you're saying, there's a lot of new features. You have the long box. You have
2 different box jumps. You have to be good at everything. You have to be good at jumping because there's 3 or 4 main, and the rest of the course you have to be a bit very good at areas because you have the deep bowl section that is very difficult to ride. Then you have the smaller borders, you have the medium-sized borders.
So like you're saying, there's a lot of new features. You have.
It's gonna show that they can ride everything.
And we have a huge list of riders, both in the women and in the men's category, that we are going to be getting to. Like we have said, if you guys are just tuning in, we're live in Montpellier, France, out here. It's June 7th. And it's one of the first events that we were able to get back to. Starting things off big, though, it's the UCI Urban Cycling World Championship for 2021. It's going to be also the last qualifying event going into the Tokyo 2020 Games. Talk to me about the significance of this event.
I wanted to talk about that so bad because we have not had a big event since the last Worlds in 2019. So this is the first time we all
it's going to be also the last.
And this is right before the game, so it's like this is the last chance to get all your stuff ready.
So last chance to get it all ready, and of course we've had the qualifications run down into 12 top riders that have made it into the finals here. They're going to be riding in 2 heats of 6 riders, 2 runs of 60 seconds per rider, and the best run is going to count. So you have two chances once you make it into those heats, 2 chances to get that best run out. But I want to go back to what you were talking about, Daniel, about how significant this is, because we have not been able to have a contest happen significantly because of the pandemic.
Correct. Yeah, it's tough, man. You know, when you're competing constantly, you're in like that rhythm, you're in that pace, and you're not having any event for so long is difficult. So it's gonna be interesting.
And talk to me about a few of these criteria that a rider has to think about when they're doing a run.
Yeah, so BMX freestyle, this is the interesting part. You have to be very diverse. Difficulty, progression, height, you know, use of course. You have so many variants, and that's the beauty of freestyle. You can have your own style, and you're gonna be judged accordingly, you know.
So we're talking about how we are judging the criteria, but also we have a very skilled and diverse panel of judges up here brought to you from the UCI. Of course, we have the head delegate from the UCI, Bart Young, but then we also have the head judge, David Cleworth, as we see right here on screen. All of our 5 judges right there as well. Marcus Vilka, Alex Jurgens, Romuald Nurat, Igor Vukadinovic, and Christy Hughes from Great Britain rounding it off up there for the UCI judges. So a huge difficulty comes into the job discipline for all these people right here.
It's probably the hardest part of the whole sport is those guys. I definitely don't envy them up there because it's tough, man. The riding level is crazy.
Definitely don't envy you know, a rider in your position either who's had to fight with them time and time again. This is it's an interesting one. I never really get too many opportunities to have a man like you come into the booth and be able to discuss as we're going through the runs what you think, how a rider should be judged, how you know, you're one that we talk about has really dissected all their course runs before we get to it. So we're really going to have fun up in here in the booth, but let's go down and do the rider introduction for all the women.
Welcome to Montpellier, France. We're here at the 2021 Urban Cycling World Championships. In just a few moments, we are going to have ourselves a female world champion. Let's meet our riders. From France, Kenza Schall. From Russia, Elizaveta Posansky. Representing Switzerland, Nikita Ducaro. Representing the United States, Angie Marino. I'm living in the 21st century. Riding for Team GB from the United Kingdom, Charlotte Worthington. Representing Team USA, Chelsea Wolf. Representing Team USA, Paris Venegas. And your #1 qualifier and defending UCI World Champion, Hannah Roberts. This is the biggest showcase for female BMX that we have ever seen. One more time for these ladies. Good luck, ladies.
And there you all have it. Your top 12 female contestants finishing off out here for the 2021 Urban Cycling World Championships presented by Keys. Daniel, looking at that rider list of the top 12 women, which names stand out to you?
Well, I think our obvious pick is Hannah Roberts, the defending champion. But what I like from this group of riders is that you have a bit of everything. You have the kind of the veterans, not real veterans yet, but you know, Nikita, Hannah, they've been around for a long time, Angie, Paris. And then you also have some of the new girls like Kenza, Katerina, you know, Magali. So I like that it's well diverse. There's a little bit of everything, and it's gonna be interesting to see how the new riders battle out with the more experienced riders today.
Right, and I love to see a full pack out here who have been able to dominate, and it's been such a heavy round of competition already. It already seems like we've stepped up coming out of the last year, and giving that year break, do you think it's brought an advantage to the riders?
It definitely gave time for everyone to ride, you know, because it is tough when you're competing on a regular season. You're traveling every 2-3 weeks. It doesn't give you enough time sometimes to prepare. So imagine you had 19 months to do your homework. So this is the exam now, and I think we're gonna get to see some incredible riding from the women's class.
So here we go. This is going to be our first heat. Of course, it's going to be Kenza Schall, Ekaterina, and then Valeria, Magali, and Elizaveta, and as well Nikita Ducaros. So this is going to be heat #1, everyone. So we'll see what this heat brings. Of course, this was going to be your bottom 6 coming out of the semifinals, pardon me. But yeah, it's going to be an immense heat. One rider that I was really impressed with coming out of the 2019 season was Chelsea Wolf. I think she has an incredible style, dominating out here in this forest. You will notice as we get into the riding style, it's something that maybe focuses a bit more on style versus the tricks. And how do you feel about that in the freestyle discipline of BMX? You know, sometimes you have riders who are going for the huge combination tricks, and sometimes you have like a Chase Hawk rider, you know?
Yeah. I think it's important that a rider has both. You know, obviously you're gonna do what you prefer to do, and it's totally fine, but at these events, I would say having a mixture of both is good, you know? So riders like Nikita, she's got a good mix of both. Angie has a mix of both. You know, I think some of these girls have been able to implement both aspects of riding now that, you know, women's BMX has developed tremendously this last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, it's incredible if you've been able to watch and you've been inside the industry as long as we have to see the growth in women's BMX as well, pushing into the Tokyo 2020 Games. It's been such a beautiful push and progression for the riders. But dropping in here, Kenza Schall.
What a night, starting off with the suicide. They're in the quarter. So see, this is the difficult part. She needs to make sure that her line is precise so she can keep energy and finish her run strong.
Transitioning up into the upper deck section where you can get a bit more speed going down the big spine step down.
Big step down.
Something I want to mention, Kenza is only 18 years old. She resides here in Montpellier. She's still in high school, man. This
I
is
know.
crazy. She's here at the World Championship.
In this heat, we have our two youngest competitors, Shaw being 18 years old, like you said, our second youngest competitor here, doing a nice bar spin onto the top deck with the box jump there. This is like her local contest, growing up with the feeds in her backyard, as it's been going on for 25 years. That's a lot older than she is.
The event has been around.
I mean,
yeah, the way before she was born.
I mean, can you imagine if the X Games was existing before you were existing?
Yeah, it would have been crazy, but man, I like it, man. You can see that she's motivated. She had a good run, a couple bobbles here and there, but you can see that her heart is in the right place. She's trying hard. She's not holding back, and I love to see that from riders. Whatever level of riding, it's all about putting your heart out when you are in the course.
And it's not just about heart, but it's so much stamina and energy. And as we speak about the time discipline of this, it's a 1 minute contest run. So how important is it to be able to link tricks all the way throughout that entire run?
It's very important, especially because of judging. You know, you want to score as many tricks as you can. And because it's 1 minute, which it might seem short, it's like a microwave minute.
Yeah.
So you've got to make sure that your landing is smooth and precise so you can continue your run and finish strong.
We can move right along to our next rider.
And it is a lot of work, actually. You think about 1 minute, just, you know, people getting into HIIT workouts or, you know, gym stuff like this throughout the break. You think about doing your hardest workout absolutely as hard as you can for 1 minute long. It's a very difficult feat to achieve.
Here we go with Katerina. I just saw this girl in Russia a couple of weeks ago, and it's pretty crazy the level there, man. The Russians are definitely improving their BMX program a lot, and you can see how Katerina has been around for I think 2-3 years, and I can notice the improvement, just the way she's flowing around the course, just very smooth, very chill. She's, you know, trying to keep her speed and just trying to link the whole course together. Little 3 up into the box jump.
30 seconds.
And as you said, Russia has been improving their BMX program. Many of the countries around the world have been improving their BMX program, thanks as well, of course, to the UCI becoming involved so much with freestyle BMX in the last couple of years and bringing it as well into the Olympics. I think it's added such a huge growth to the sport itself and so much notoriety coming towards the athlete. It's great to see all the countries coming on board to a freestyle discipline like this.
Yeah, it's given a tremendous opportunity to riders from all around the world. You know, Ekaterina is from the middle of Russia, which you don't, obviously might not have a lot of information. It's called Revda-Katerin region.
Yeah.
She lives now in Krasnodar, which is one of the legendary parks in Russia. And she's also the Russian national champion.
Wow.
So it's good to see that, you know, she made it in the finals. It was tough to make it in. And it's good, again, that she's improving her riding. It's just a lot smoother and just being able to put it together. And, you know, such a big day like today.
Yeah, it's huge and a great run out there. You see another replay of that 360 onto the deck.
When you watch the riders do these 360s, they look over their shoulders.
Getting some big air on that tuck no hander off of the quarter pipe.
Slow motion as they leave the ramp, they're looking over their shoulders.
Look at that smile. She's psyched. All right, 52.90. Not bad, not bad.
Right there, 52.90. And we will move on to our next competitor.
As we're moving downfield to our third rider in heat number 1.
All right, she is poised and ready to go, representing RCF. This is Valeria Lufimova. Yes!
Yeah, Valerie. So Valerie is our youngest competitor here today. Look at that power. X over the whole long box, man. That's crazy. She's so confident on the bike. I love it, man.
Coming in hipped into the next step-up box jump. You're talking about the long box. Is it a very long box to a contest course?
A bit long, yeah, and it's difficult. Look at that tail whip, man. That's awesome. The first tail whip we see today.
Coming up into as well the spine transfer onto that box jump. Wrapping around, pumping through the bowl section here.
Oh, little bubble there.
And that's going to be time. Get an X up in. What are the rulings actually if you do a trick after the buzzer?
You have 3 seconds. So like if you're already touching the quarter or you're about to touch the quarter and the buzzer goes on, it will count. So you have to be careful because it could improve your score dramatically or it could hurt it bad.
Right.
So you want to make sure that you're sure with what you're doing, your energy is up and you finish strong. A bit of roll of the dice, but yeah, that's the rule.
Okay. Because like you said, if you crash on a trick at the end of your run that you were just throwing in to see if you can get one more, it could really significantly decrease your score if that ends up with a slide out or a wash.
Dude, I love this. First tail whip. I saw her also in Russia a few weeks ago. She was riding so amazing, man. The youngest rider here.
17 years old, coming in, born in 2004. Just incredible that we have such a high caliber of competition and also working their way into potential Olympic qualifying spots there. Are you familiar with of course you're familiar with it, with the whole entire point system working in here as we work down the names. Obviously, a lot of them are already qualified for the Olympics.
Yes, so this event today, I think, solidifies the ranking for the women. I think the 5th spot is what was in jeopardy. And for the men, it will solidify which country will send 2 riders, because #1 country in the ranking will get to send 2 riders. So in the women's class, USA is very far ahead, so they're definitely qualifying first. But in the men, you have USA and Australia tied, so it's gonna be interesting to watch that later. But here with Magali, dude, what I love from Magali, she is a world champion in racing, and she switched to BMX freestyle 28, and it's crazy because you can see her bike control and now doing tricks. Dude, she's amazing. Speaks Spanish, speaks English, which I love.
But so nice to be able to see the diversity. Also, of course, as we have the UCI in cycling in general, there's so much diversity that comes into a bicycle. Magali was just getting the last jump in on that long box jump. But like you said, switching from racing, BMX racing, into BMX freestyle, what does that mean?
Dude, it's 2 different worlds, like completely. In racing, you have a finish line. You're focusing on how you go fast on the track. In freestyle, you gotta be in the air for longer. You gotta try to do tricks, doing taking your hands off, 360s, backflips. It's a lot different than racing. You have to be precise. You don't have to pedal as crazy as in racing, which is, I think, good.
Yeah.
But yeah, like learning how to air is important, and it can be difficult at first. So it's great that she's been able to adjust. I love to see, because I remember when she first came into freestyle, you could see that her racer style was really embedded in her riding. And now you can see that she's definitely more freestyle. So I love it, man.
Beautiful Magali waiting for the judges to put in scores right now.
Magali is part of the French Federation here. I know they've been helping grow the sport here in France, which is amazing. They have a very similar course for their Olympic team here in Montpellier. Magali is part of the team. It's crazy. She's been in the team for racing, right? Because she also went to the Olympics in 2012, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
So it is crazy. She did that, and now here in Park, and she's also part of the freestyle program. So
it'd be amazing to have that opportunity.
Good score for Magali. And definitely room for improvement. So this first run, you're gonna see everyone gonna try to do somewhat of a safety run, and then we'll probably see more of them rolling the dice for the second run.
Magali is sitting with that 66.4. She's in our first place spot as Elizaveta Pozatsky will drop in for her first round.
Elizaveta, we have to mention, she had a nasty crash a couple days ago. Look at that 360 over the box. Dude, that has to be very difficult. She hurt her elbow. I'm not sure if she cracked it. She's dropping in because she wants this Olympic points. She knows that she needs them. And of course doesn't want to miss the big party later in Tokyo.
Elizaveta carrying tons of speed. One of the brakeless riders, and huge amplitude of that X-up over the long box.
Elizaveta working the whole course. She's keeping up her speed. You know, I like that she's so smooth, man. She's like so light on her bike. It's amazing. I think it helps her tremendously to continue and finish her run strong.
10-second left, buzzer as we go in. 5 seconds. She's going to have time for one more trick as she airs over the hip side.
Not bad, man. I thought she wasn't going to ride. I talked to her coach earlier today, and he was like, well, we will see how practice goes because she is most likely out. Her elbow hurts a lot. She had that nasty crash, and she came back, and look at this, no hander on the big spine. Like, you know, it's crazy X-up over the long box. That have to have hurt her arm, man.
Yeah, it's really difficult riding with an injury, but like you're saying, she doesn't want to miss out on the points in the big party in Tokyo. So it's kind of the difficult catch-22 that the riders have to go through right now.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I remember I had to ride with a broken hand in 2019, so I didn't miss the qualification point.
59.60
So I know her pain.
for Russia's Elizaveta.
Elizaveta, one of the pioneers in Russian BMX. She's also a tattoo artist.
We will wait.
Yeah, I heard that she was a tattoo artist. She was showing off a few of her signature pieces in the last show that we had out here.
Next up, we have Nikita Dukaros. So Nikita lives in North Carolina. I ride with her every day, and it's amazing to see the progression she's had from last year in January when she moved until today. So very happy and excited to see her because I know the amount of work she's put on her bike, trying to, you know, just do the best that she can.
So Nikita is going to be representing Switzerland. But like you said, living in North Carolina, huge 360 1-foot can into a bar spin air on the quarter pipe.
Nikita X up with a lot of speed.
Wow, tons of speed and dominance on this course.
Bar spin to X up. One-hander table, dude. Nikita suffers so much learning bar spin. That is amazing that she has them dialed now.
Beautiful turn down as well, going over that hip. Huge suicide no-hander over the long box.
Heading up to the big spine. Let's see what she's gonna do.
Yeah.
X up.
360 X up on the step down.
In that 360, 5 seconds.
And time is up. All right, I think she wanted to end with something different. So I can see that she's gonna speak to her coach, Daniel Wedermeyer, right now. They might reassess the run to finish with something else. I know Nikita and I know what she wants to do. I'm not gonna spoil it to anyone, but she definitely wants to end her run with this big trick. Look at this 360 can. She could barely 360 a year ago. Now she's doing combos over the big spine too, man. It's impressive.
Wow, that just goes to show how dedication can help your progression. And like you said, riding every day, with yourself out in North Carolina. So you have a nice training facility out there.
We have a built my own skate park in 2014, the Daniel Dares Action Sports Complex. We welcome anyone, if you never touched a bike before, all the way to a professional rider. And it's been amazing on my side, just having the newcomers come and watch them grow.
Yeah.
Like Nikita's been amazing on a tear. Look at that, a 90.30. She's in the lead. Very strong.
So a huge jump up for Nikita on top right there. So sitting almost 30 points ahead of Magali in second place, as we're going to re-rack the group and then start again on their second runs, their second chances for heat number 1 out here of the 2021 UCI Urban Cycling World Championships, the Pro BMX Freestyle Women's Final. Starting here with run number 2 of Kenza Schall.
Look at that big suicide over the box jump. Kenza's riding with more power on this run. I love it. Going up the big spine. What's it gonna be? All right, big jump over. It's so good to see this new generation just being so committed. Big 360 over the box jump.
Yeah, one-handed weighing the team.
Nice bar spin on top of the deck there. As we said, Schall is 18 years old, our second youngest competitor out here in the finals.
It's her first finals too, so it's not bad. Being at a world championship and making your first finals.
Yeah, how amazing is this? How was it when you started first competing? Did you have to kind of get over the nerve factor, or did you just work right into it?
Oh, it's tough, man. The first time I competed at a big event, I could not feel my legs. It was insane. I was in finals sweating. My legs were linguini. I could not feel it, and I was said like, well, just hold on. Hope you don't crash. So I can only imagine how she feels just like down there, so young, being in her hometown, or I'm not sure if her hometown, but she lives here. The whole French team has been supporting the riders. Dude, it's been amazing. You can see her riding. I don't think I met her before, so it's good to see that first time and she's already this impressive. I can only imagine what the future will hold for her.
Exactly. And of course, the Olympics come every 4 years, and the UCI is going to be continuing the vengeance to push BMX freestyle to the world. So she is, of course, going to have another huge opportunity coming now 3 years down the line.
Yeah, and it's got to be here in Paris,
yeah,
here in France, so it's got to be awesome.
And next up, Katarina Kruglova is about to drop in for her second run of heat number 1.
The Russian national champion for 2020.
All right, we're ready to rock and roll.
And Katarina sitting in 5th place right now with a 52.9.
Katarina Kruglova! Oh yeah,
starting off with a big 360 with a big box. Going for the tuck no hand, they're not quite getting it, but keep up the speed. It's very important to not stop. If you make a mistake, keep going, make it up on the next wall.
Yeah, E.T.
Katarina doing an E.T. on the wall there, an E.T. 360.
Onto a T-bog.
Original lines. Yeah, tabletop.
I like it. She's working the course very different from the rest of the riders. That's what I love from freestyle, is that there's no wrong. You can do whatever you want. You will have a coach guiding you, but ultimately it's your decision. You do, you're free to do as you wish.
And that will be time for
Katerina doing it for Samara. That's part of the whole Russian Federation that's been supporting her to come here and show what she's been working on.
Had a really busy weekend.
Look at that smile. Probably happy to be here, you know, like again, no one's competed in big events for so long that it's just, it's incredible to be here. Great vibe, just awesome opportunity for everyone.
That's called an ET. When you pedal in the air, we call it an ET.
It's been so long since we've been able to have live action sports events, so we're incredibly happy for the UCI to put such an event on for us out here. There are no spectators really, except for very close family members out in the arena. So it does change the audience, it does change kind of the feeling.
It does. It's a bit tough. Like, usually when you hear your name, you will hear like a chant. You know, like people clapping, and you know, you hear some because again, families here, there's still people, but it is crazy because you wave and there's no one in the stands.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, so it's for everyone at home listening online and on TV. Thanks for tuning in. We're getting going with the second runs of heat number 1 here in the women's final.
Valerie just charging at this course non-stop. She went for that tail whip.
Going for the tail up again.
Yes. Little mistake. We'll see how the judges evaluate that.
Yeah, slipping a pedal, as I was going to just ask you, in your expert opinion, how does that affect the score?
It can affect you big, because this sport is so difficult now. Like, everyone is running at such a high level that mistakes do count big. It's almost the only way to separate first from second these days. You know, it's that little bubble, a little something. So look at that, big 360 to finish off. That's amazing. She had the energy to finish off strong. Very happy with her run. They told me she has, you see her tattoo in her arm. They told me to make sure to tell everyone that it's a fake tattoo.
Right, if you're 17 years old, it's not really allowed yet. Are you just supposed to tell everyone that it's a fake tattoo, or are we?
No, it is fake. It is fake.
Okay, but I like to see them trying it out. You know, I got some of my first tattoos when I was pretty young. Yeah, I wish I waited on some of them. So Valeria, as you see here, going for that tail whip, she had missed the pedal right there, so she caught it tiny bit with her toes and then slipped off, but she held on and stayed determined enough to be able to get that 360 to the end. So as you were saying, Daniel, to keep focused and try and get back on the pedals and on the bike, even if you do have a mix-up.
It's tough, man, and I'm happy that she kept on going. Unfortunately, her score is not going to improve.
6-0, doubles her score up.
She went for it, and I think, you know, she's so young. She has such a bright future ahead of her, so it's going to be great to see what she's going to bring in the next years to come.
And coming up next,
all right, we got
here
the thumbs up.
Magali
One of the
Potier.
greatest women on 2 wheels representing France. This is
going in for
Magali
her
Potier.
run number 2 out here for the World Championship Finals. Magali dropping it, getting speed for the box jump.
Love it. Tire grab to start things off.
High grab into the wall on the big sub box.
Magali being a race world champion, now riding freestyle.
Stylish down that step down. Let's go.
She has so much power pedaling, man. All of these obstacles, she's able to jump and just comfortable, man. I love it.
Yeah, that's something to really note. Coming from a race background, to be able to have that pedal control is something that a lot of the freestyle athletes, maybe very young coming into the sport, don't have. They don't have access to, you know, knowing how to pedal on those cranks instead of just pumping around.
Yes, Magali. 360. She's riding with an injured shoulder, by the way. So that's the crazy part about freestyle. We always have some sort of injuries. We always riding in something is hurt. It's kind of like the Hulk when they ask him You know what his secret? He's always angry. Well, we always hurt. That's our secret.
I mean, that's one of the most difficult things, I think, about being a professional athlete, almost in any sport. But when you get into action sports and you look at how impactful just one contest run can be on your body, and then thinking about, as you said previously, that, you know, as a professional contest rider, you're touring around the world, traveling every week, every other week to a new contest. And at those contests, you have such a high risk that you're going to be injuring some limb of your body and then continuing with that.
Yes, and sometimes it's the smallest mistakes, man. Sometimes it's not the big trick. On the big trick, you're paying so much attention that usually you have a way out. On a small thing, you're not thinking about it because it's small, I'm not going to fall, and then you end up crashing horribly. So it's always important to keep focused on your run.
Great run. Didn't get hurt. Made some people smile. It's a good day.
Magali just waiting right now to see the scores coming in. It's going to be a 66.9, which is going to be a little improvement, 0.5, to put her or keep her in second place, right below Nikita Dukaros. But before Nikita on the left there drops in, we're going to have Elizaveta dropping in for her second run. As we've already mentioned, another rider riding with an injury as she's injured her elbow previously this week.
Big 360 for Elizaveta. She rides in Krasnodar, which is one of the best parks in Russia. And you can see that it's helped her tremendously to have the infrastructure to learn just how to flow, how to do tricks, just like this big no-hander. That spine is scary, man. When you go down, you look down that thing, you're like, oh man, I hope I don't do something bad here.
I know we talk so much about course features or doing big tricks and stuff like that, but to have that first perspective of hitting a step down spine like this, what does it actually look like?
It looks terrifying. When you're in the air, you're looking down, the thing is 3 meters high, you're like, you know, the good thing is that it has a long landing, so if you land a bit flat, it doesn't hurt you as much, but if you do mess up, you will pay the price. Case in Lara Lesman, she qualified for finals, and she threw the spine in practice, clipped her back wheel, landed flat, broke her collarbone, can't compete today.
So yeah, if you're listening to that, I think that's the first visit. We've actually mentioned that in the show that Lara Lesman ended up qualifying, I believe, 5th, and she is in DNS position. She has a broken collarbone out, really unfortunately, in training.
So, dude, Elizaveta being able to push through the pain and ride is very commendable.
So you might be asking yourself, she's riding a little bit reserved.
Doing bar spins, no-hander, 360s, even this 360, like, it had to hurt a little bit, man. And she's holding on, just, that's how much you want to be in Tokyo, right? You're pushing through the pain, trying as hard as you can, regardless of what happens.
Quick little bar spin on the way out right there. Always a pleasure to have her out here. A consistent face in the finals at the FIS contest here in Montpellier. Score in right there, 59.14 for her first
so
run.
59.60 is going to be the score that holds strong for her. 59.14 was her second run. So it's not going to be an improvement for Elizaveta as we move down to the Swiss athlete Nikita Dukaros. Riding and residing currently in North Carolina.
Representing Switzerland, this is Nikita Dukaros.
She's currently sitting in first place with a 90.3. Let's see how she does things on run 2 here in heat 1.
Whoa.
Big backflip tuck no-hander.
Good flip no-hander, that's amazing. She's going in on this run, man, all in.
We are really talking about swinging for gold out here as she pushes with a 360 1-foot can.
Nikita on fire on this course.
Yeah, nice turn down. We had seen her go and talk to her coach, Daniel Wedemeyer, after run number 1. Looks like he gave some good tips to just push it. She's been putting in all the groundwork, though, in the off season, getting ready for this moment.
15.
Going in for the big spine.
Yo! Unfortunately, going down on the truck driver over that spine, just losing her footing, but
Wow.
she is good. She knows she was sitting in a very comfortable position with that 90.3 and was just pushing her limits to see if she can improve.
Losing the bars.
It's amazing to watch her try a truck driver because I know how much this trick has haunted her.
I know you were speaking about how she has struggled with bar spins. A lot of riders coming into BMX look at bar spins being so simple because we see them so often, but it's such an incredibly difficult trick to learn how to counter the velocity of that front wheel spinning around.
Yes, at first it's a big mystery, man. But she's finally figured it out, just how this flip no-hander, like, she just learned it not long ago, and I know she was thinking about doing it here. I didn't know she was, so this is awesome that she did. Unfortunately, she crashed on the spine, so that's obviously gonna hurt her score. But, you know, she went all in, and that's I think, the best part of all of this is that she did not hold back, and that's what it's about. You want to win, you go all in. You can't be reserved and hold back some of your tricks.
Working at BMX for so long. I think I met Nikita when she was 12, and it's incredible to see her at
Like you
this level.
see her second run right there, getting scored with the 65.8. There were a lot bigger tricks in that second run, but of course ending with a bit of a disaster in that truck driver. But thankfully she walks away and is still on top as that wraps up our heat number 1. Nikita Ducaros in first place, Magali Potier in second, and Valerie in third place. Let's see how things ended up. Maybe we're going to be able to get a little bit of a highlight as heat number 2 is well underway, getting their practice and warm-up done. How important is the warm-up session actually for riders? Watching a whole entire heat, not being able to get on the bike, and then having to go into your contest run.
It can break you or make you, man. Because first, especially if a rider did an amazing run and you're hesitating about yours, it could affect you mentally. And then the warm-up is actually short, so you have to be on it. I know a lot of teams now bring road bikes and they put them right outside the course with a roller so they can keep warm or start warming up before they get on the course.
Right.
Because it is important, it's crazy. Luckily here the weather is okay, we're inside a stadium in controlled environment, but sometimes we go to events that are outside and it's really cold and it's difficult. Your hands just don't want to let go of the bars, and that's a problem.
Right. And like you said, it can really mentally mess with you, because if, for instance, let's say Nikita landed that truck driver off the spine, she also came out, and that means that run would have counted with the backflip tuck no-hander. She had the 361 foot can. She had some huge difficult tricks. For all our next top 5 riders going into their second heat, they would have to be thinking, okay, now I have to combat a score that is well into the 90s. Maybe that's going to change how they want to push their first run.
I think so. After a year and a half of no events, I think it's very interesting. You get to watch everyone's riding for the first time in a big competition. So I'm pretty sure if someone out there had a doubt on what to do, I'm sure they're like, okay, I really need to go for it. If I want to win, I need to go for my big tricks.
Right, as you're just seeing a couple highlights right there from Nikita Ducaros, that big backflip tuck no-hander. It's so incredible actually to be able to see tricks like that pulled in the women's division of freestyle BMX. As we've said in the years past, it's just blown up and we've gotten such a beautiful turnout. There have been so many times that it's just been difficult enough to do a contest, but now having such incredible turnout and progression within the sport, it's so cool to see how riding has evolved out here for 2021.
Yes, the women class has grown tremendously this last 5 years since BMX got introduced with the UCI and the Olympics and everything. It's been tremendous progression and just the amount of participants.
So as you see here, heat number 2, Angie Marino will be dropping in first, and then it would have been Laura Lessman. Unfortunately, she's going to be out with a broken collarbone. Charlotte Worthington, Chelsea Wolfe, Paris Benengas, and of course our defending 2019 world champion Hannah Roberts. So a huge hit, a heat of heavy hitting riders out there on course. I see a lot more speed also already flowing in the warm-up. You can just see so much energy that these riders are feeding off of one another. That's something so cool as well to see in these warm-ups. It's a lot of energy transitioning from the riders, but as well, countries are really battling it out here. We have basically the United States versus Great Britain in this second heat.
Yes, every rider in this heat is gnarly. You have Hannah Roberts, current world champion. You have Angie Marino, who got, if I'm not mistaken, second or third at the Worlds in 2018. Paris Benengas, who's also a world champion.
Yeah, Paris Benengas, I believe, is coming off 2018 world champion, yes?
Yes, and then you have Charlotte, who is the British national champion, and also, I think she got bronze medal at the last Worlds. So you have, and well, of course, Chelsea too. She's been coming in hot. She's been doing good in the States. I think
she's sitting in third in the nation, in States.
I think so, and she qualified third, so she's definitely coming in hot, trying to do as best as she can.
All right,
so
we got the
here we have a look at
this
Angie Marino as things are getting going. We're on a tight schedule out here in Montpellier. As the United States' own Angie Marino dropping in. Big backflip starting things off for Angie.
Coming out with a big backflip, let's go!
You can see with Angie's style, she's mixing big tricks with her style. She has one of the most refined styles in women's BMX. It's like that big table.
Yeah, nice toboggan going over that box jump.
You can see her speed. She's very comfortable around, just being able to hit everything, keeping her pace, staying solid on the bike.
Tire grab over the box and big air, whipping it around on that quarter pipe.
Angie's one of the pioneers in women's BMX. She's been around for a while. She's helped grow the sport. She has a website called the Bloom BMX, where you can find all information regarding women's BMX.
That tire grab was rad.
That was a good run, man. She kept the flow going. Big tricks, small tricks, speed.
Dubstep DJ. And then she grabbed the frame after that. Let's see if you can see it here. This is the backy. Upside down, no
Sweet,
problem.
so there's a replay of the backflip. Nice tire grab. Oh, and then grabbing back into maybe a toboggan, or?
She literally grabbed it, pushed it, and then goes for frame grab.
Going for a frame grab.
And I talk about it a lot. Originality goes far. It might not be the highest scoring trick, but something different that nobody else is doing. Originality can
Angie waiting up for the scores. She currently lives in San Diego. She trains at the USA facility. Rides her constantly. It's very similar ramps to here, so it definitely helps her adapt to, of course, this complicated, right? Like the ramps are so big.
You see our panel of judges working hard there to get the scores in. Angie's going to score 75-2-0.
That puts her in second place.
Second place right there, as you said, yes. So we have our one great
We've got the green light. Representing
Charlotte has become one of my favorite riders, man. I like the eye of the tiger, getting ready to just destroy. She never holds back.
Did you hear the, oh no, it's not Eye of the Tiger. I thought you heard the music in the back. Whoa! Charlotte pulling the huge front flip. See a big smile on her face as she stomped that one, gathering so much speed. X up into the UCI wall and a huge backflip on the step down spine.
Charlotte is just charging at this course with no regard. She wants to take this win. Big 360 on the long box.
Wow, amazing difficulty in all of these tricks.
20.
Charlotte is not holding back, starting with the biggest trick we've probably seen today.
Absolutely, that front flip on the box. We'll get a replay of that after. Tail whip on the Shimano quarter pipe on the upper deck here. She flows into the box shop again, throwing some of the hugest and cleanest tricks we've seen out in the contest today.
What an amazing run for Charlotte. Love the commitment, just straight out of the gate. She was like, I'm gonna start this party right.
Wow, that's gonna be a tough one to score.
This is definitely gonna be hard. So you see Nikita had big tricks and flow. I think Charlotte had a couple bigger tricks, but definitely had a couple mistakes. So this is where judging becomes very difficult. Where you had that front flip is jaw-dropping.
That's huge, and going into this big back flip. Look at the amplitude and so precise on the landing. And that tail whip as well, such a perfect catch on the pedals.
For the British cycling rider, another great look at that front flip. Front flips are
That's amazing. She's kept this trick quiet. I didn't know she had them this dialed.
Wow, and I mean, so dialed. You see the smile on her face. She just knew that she had the run set after that. So really interested to see how the judges, 83.30. So it's not good enough to push Nikita out of first place with her 90.3, but Charlotte sitting close behind. Let's see if she can improve nearly 7 points to possibly take over first place in her next run. But as we move down to the next rider from the United States of America, Chelsea Wolfe came out onto the scene in 2018, I believe, into the contest scene out here globally, and she just blew us away on the series. As we'll express in her run, you'll see a lot more style or fluidity going versus those big aerial tricks.
Chelsea's been working hard doing tricks like that. Ruben wall ride. Very difficult way to wall ride, by the way.
So what is the difference in doing a Ruben style wall ride?
You're pointing down, which is terrifying.
Yeah, so you basically do a 180 and slap the wall, and so your front wheel is completely vertical.
Look at this. Chelsea is riding non-stop, tricking everything. She knows that she needs to do big stuff, but look at that, 360 on the big spots. That ramp is probably the hardest ramp in this building.
Yeah, I know. It's like an extended spine. It looks incredibly difficult to hit, and to be able to do a 360 over that, big, big devotion into that trick. Nice tabletop. She has 6 seconds left. She's going to be able to get a nice one-footed table.
That's going to be time. Chelsea recently moved to San Diego, to Chula Vista, to ride the USA course, and you can see her riding is a lot cleaner. Definitely riding a lot more precise. I like what she's doing. Tricked everything, gapped. Starting with a big no-foot can-can.
Yeah, I really loved seeing tricks like that back in competition. I mean, it's been a long time since no-foot can was kind of brought in, but also being able to move in big transfer tricks like that into the 360 just shows such confidence in her riding style. Very good execution with both feet on that no-foot can there.
There's the Ruben wall ride. Very difficult way to get to a wall.
We've seen people hit the wall ride with Chelsea getting a little bit more vertical.
Tabletop right after the gap, which is crazy. I think she's the first girl to do that gap.
Ruben Alcantara. That's called a look back right there. Again, Chelsea really mixed it up here.
Here's a 360 on the Sparks.
She came a tiny bit short on that, but still was so comfortable on her bike that she's able to hold. It's very difficult to have a clip like that coming off a 360, maybe where you have a blind landing and you don't really expect that you're going to case that much, but just shows how much confidence she has on the bike. So looks like that move to San Diego has really improved for the better.
Rock and roll. You see the rainbow jersey.
We got the next rider up, Paris Venegas.
She wants on that
She
podium
also
again.
moved to North Carolina.
For USA
Being enjoying watching her progress. This got to be interesting.
So you see the rainbow stripes on her jersey. She is not the defending UCI world champion, but she was champion 2018, so it earns her the ability to ride those rainbow colors, and she does, flying them high up on that wall right there as she sails around that big X up, having a nice different line selection, huge toboggan air.
Paris is always rolling, man.
Oh, I love how she does that tire grab, doesn't go back to the handlebars, just flows into the toboggan. Whoa, going huge on that transfer of the hip.
Paris, what I like is that she will go higher than anyone. She's not scared to be up in the sky, man. Little mistake there, as she said, she's gonna stop the run. Probably gonna put all her chips on the next run. See, that's what happens, man. You sit for a while, it is tough, and you get cold, you do a little mistake, and that's it. Now you kind of have to start over. Paris also is the first girl to get a signature frame. She got a signature frame from Cold Bikes. Love the sticker, it's like a smiley face.
Her arms were perfectly X'd up.
As you see there, it's really hard to judge coming in to a hip like that. How do you estimate?
Oh man, that hip is so difficult because it's blind. The guys kind of marked it there with like, tried to chip the paint a little bit so you had reference, but it's tough, especially going that fast at it. It's like you're not sure where you're gonna land. And yeah, she miscalculated, unfortunately. And also, she had a really bad ankle. I know it took her out for 3 months, so that case right there probably did not feel good at all. And next up, we have Hannah Roberts. She is the defending world champion.
We got the green light, ladies and gentlemen.
Rides, when you see her ride in practice, she does not stop doing the gnarly stuff. So I know she's been working hard. Wants to repeat her world championship title. Gonna go all in.
So Hannah Roberts, drop it in here. Your #1 qualifier as well. Big backflip. Huge tuck no-hander.
The show has started.
Powers over with a big bar spin.
And a big tail whip on the big quarter.
Tuck no-hander on that long spine. Oh, and a big flare for Hannah Roberts. It's the first time we've seen that in competition today.
Transfer, 30 seconds.
Hannah Roberts also moved to North Carolina. Everybody moved there.
Wow, you really bringing in everyone. when you create a facility like that, I mean, it's not too hard to sell it. But yeah, beautiful tail whip on top of the quarter pipe there.
Hannah's just big trick after big trick. We saw the flare on the Shimano quarter, 3 no-hander on the big spine, tail whip on the other quarter after the box. Started also super strong with a flip bar. She is, I think, the only girl doing it in competition.
Yeah.
It's a very difficult trick, and she does it like nothing. Just goes in. I do bets with her at the park, like, can you flip bar without warming up? She's like, here, hold my water, I'll be back. And just does it. You can see that in the contest, just no problem, first trick of the day.
Amazing, absolutely amazing to see her come to this level. I think we saw her first do or attempt a flip bar spin in 2018, perfect in 2019, and as you see, it's just become second nature. Especially like tricks like that flare.
Look at that extension.
Blasting such perfect extension like the condor on that tuck no-hander.
Hannah rides with so much strength, man, and so much commitment. She goes in, she doesn't care. She's like, I'm gonna do my tricks. This is what I live for.
So waiting to see if they're able to beat the 90.3 of Nikita Dugaros on top. It was a big run coming in from the American. Hannah Roberts right now just finished her first run.
Enjoying the music in the stadium.
So as we said, waiting to see if they can beat the 90.3 of Nikita Dukaros. Charlotte Worthington sitting in second place there with an 83.3, and Chelsea Wolf in third place with an 80. So two Americans, one American already in the podium space right now, as we have 4 more runs to go with heat number 2 here. The judges taking their time to make sure that all the boxes are tallied. It's one of the hardest jobs out here in the field to be a judge. Make sure that everyone gets their fair points. Anna's saying it's so scary. It's a 91.90. She puts herself into first place, Nikita into second. There we go, Hannah Roberts on top again.
Hannah Roberts on her way to possibly repeat a championship.
Wow, incredible feat out here, but still have a few more riders to go as we are racking things back up to the top of heat number 2. As we have Angie Marino about to drop in for her second attempt out here. Angie is currently sitting in 5th place with a 75.2. As she drops in, let's see what she's got. Big backflip.
Backflip. Great looking T-Bog, here we go.
But he goes with the turn down, trying to use the whole course. Big table on the steep quarter.
Walking over the box.
Little blank air there, not sure what she was trying to attempt.
30 seconds.
But keeping going, which is the important part, is even if you make a little mistake, you have to keep going. You gotta finish your run. Tag her up to T-Bog.
Tire grab to frame grab. 15.
Angie being one of the most influential BMX girls. One of the regionals.
1 footer over the hip.
Yeah, nice turn down. And that will be time for Angie, second run.
And Angie missed a couple of tricks. It's tough, man. You have so much in your mind when you're dropping in, and you have to remember all these tricks in the right spot and also try to be precise to keep your speed. It's incredibly hard to be able to just finish one of these runs.
It's just been so inspirational to females, specifically in the United States.
Go for that toboggan, big amplitude right there. Wait to see if Angie is able to improve her score and maybe position as she's sitting currently in 5th place.
San Diego, California resident.
Second round is
78.10,
which is going to improve her score, but not position, as she still stays in 5th position right there. As we move on to Charlotte Worthington. Dominating force, it came out swinging with some incredible tricks in run number 1.
I'm excited to watch this. Charlotte knows that she can win, and she's gonna try to win.
As you see Eye the Tiger, Charlotte Worthington dropping in for run number 2 in the women's pro final. Huge front flip.
Yeah, Charlotte starting off with a front flip. Next up onto the UCI wall. Flip the big spine, just incredible. The only woman we've seen flip the big spine.
Yes, big 360 on that long box jump, carrying tons of speed to hit it backwards again.
Going across the wall.
Yes, getting that channel gap.
That was incredible.
That's what I'm talking about, being precise. There we go.
Yes.
Tail whip. She had to land that box smooth to be able to do the wall right across the UCI wall.
Yeah, you saw that she was setting up with that speed. The only rider we have seen so far today dominate that section of the wall. And that's going to be time. This flare.
She flares right after the buzzer, but not sure if it's going to count.
not going to count, as we just got word that flare is not going to count with the judges. Unfortunately, it was too far after the buzzer went off.
That was definitely a solid run, starting off with the front flip, then being very precise on the long box to be able to do this Wara. That Wara is big, man. It might not look so big in camera, but it's massive. And here she goes with the flare. Unfortunately, it's not going to count for the score, but she was able to still do it.
It was a little bit too late, but regardless, an incredible run for Charlotte Worthington. Both of her runs.
Looking
nobody's done.
Back at that flare, would have been so nice if she could have got that into a run. But unfortunately, these are very serious rules.
The UCI has done
you got 3 seconds to make that trick count going up the ramp, and unfortunately, that was just a little bit past the buzzer.
Charlotte has been putting so much effort. She's only been riding for 5 years and been competing for about 3.
Wow, only 5 years.
Yes.
That is incredible.
Yes, so it's amazing to see her progression. She came to North Carolina a couple months ago, and she was just on a tear, man. Just doing everything. It's amazing to see how much she's learned. She takes a lot of advice from Jamie Beswick, one of the legends in BMX. Could not take better advice from a better rider.
Yeah, what an amazing coach to have out there for your cycling community. Charlotte right now, she's waiting for her judges, the scores to come in from the judges you see on the top right-hand side of your screen. Currently, she has an 83.3. It's good enough for 3rd place, but she definitely wants to improve. Duking it out there with Nikita Dukaros and Hannah Roberts just above her. We're live with the 2021 Urban Cycling World Championship out here in Montpellier, France. Presented by the FIS, doing an incredible job building the course out here for us. And progressing BMX freestyle. So we wait anxiously to see if that score is going to improve, and it does. It does. An 88.90. She pushes into 2nd place. Charlotte Worthington. Oh no, pardon me. That was a glitch on our screen. She's going to be pushed into 3rd place. Nikita Dukaros is still holding strong at the 90.30 as we move forward to Chelsea Wolf. Big no-foot can-can. Starting her 2nd run off strong into that Ruben Alcantara wall ride.
Chelsea just putting in her run. Just look at that energy, being able to jump that gap straight into a 360 loop down.
Nice, adding that.
Chelsea just charging the scores. Chelsea recently moved to Chula Vista. You can see how she's been able to improve her riding. She's originally from Florida, from West Palm. She used to race as well. So you can see her pedaling. She's got like a different style of pedaling.
I can understand. I also see that beautiful look back right there. She goes for a 540 at the end of her run.
She's going for the big trick. She knew she needed a big trick if she wanted to improve her score. Unfortunately, couldn't pull the 540, but it's a hard trick, man. It's a hard trick already. And doing it at the end of your run is so difficult just because you're out of energy. You need the strength. And again, the difficulty of that trick is just tremendous.
And like you said, at the end of your run, totally winded. You've just done one of the most enduring minutes of your life. And then going for the 540 and just not getting enough amplitude to carry that spin around, but still her body was wanting to go in the 540.
She's okay. One more round of applause, you guys.
She's so good. It happens to all of us. We crash, we get up, we do it again.
When the riders go down,
yeah, it's kind of that mental imbalance that we have. It's not a natural instinct, but we keep doing it, and that is why you see such a beautiful progression in the sports.
Adrenaline, man, it's addictive.
It is, isn't it?
You want to keep doing it, you want to keep feeling it.
Tell me about it. How long have you been competing for?
I've been competing for professional since 2004, I think.
Wow.
So I don't even know.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
It's a long time. I think I remember watching you in your first contest professionally, or at least I remember a lot of it. Yeah, so it's pretty incredible to be announcing with you out here. But as we get into incredible riders, Paris Beninga on course, a rider who is not afraid to go big. As you see, with the amplitude and speed in that toboggan, coming back to the long box jump, diagrammed his toboggan.
Combo that long box is not easy, man.
Yes, going for the hip, getting some redemption from her first run.
So she's already going to improve her score. One-hander, one-footer with the long box. Yeah, quarter. First girl we see doing that, taking that line.
Yes, and a beautiful click turn down. 10 seconds left as she gets a few more tricks out here into the bowl section. Yeah, nice X up, right down to the buzzer.
And that's gonna be time for Paris.
Big smile on Paris's face as she is much happier with that run, getting some redemption after she ended up crashing on that huge Tissot hip jump.
Paris just boosts, man. Goes higher than anyone else. Doesn't stop charging. There she jumps a hip that where she cased the first run into the bigger hip. It's getting some redemption in there.
She does all of her tricks again proper. X-ups clicked, T-bombs clicked. Great looking wall ride right there.
Here we go with that channel gap into the UCI quarter pipe.
Nobody else has done that one.
No one has done that in competition yet today. So it's great to see some diversity, and that's definitely going to be an improvement with the judges. So we talk about taking line selection that no one else has done. That's going to be something that the judges are really noting. We're going to see where she mixes up into this ranking, as she was currently sitting way down with a 46. And a huge improvement, an 85.80. It's going to push her into 4th place and push Chelsea Wolf down into 5th.
And we have our last rider. So this is gonna be a victory run. I think she did this at the Worlds in 2019, and she's about to do it again in 2021.
So you see here our defending 2019 UCI BMX Freestyle World Champion, Hannah Roberts, going out for her 2nd consecutive title. This is going to be a victory lap, like Daniel said. 360 tuck no-hander from Ms. Roberts, a big bar spin. She did it once before, and she dominated again, showing her incredible presence on the BMX bike.
She rides so solid, man. Has put in the time. Give it up for Hannah. She's a talented rider, very committed. She's not scared. She knows what she wants, and she wanted that title, and she went for it, and she won it. It was amazing. Very happy for her. Kelsey, her wife, back in North Carolina. I'm sure she's watching.
Yes, so congratulations. She got married in the offseason, I believe. She's giving a big hug and congratulations to her coach down there, Ryan Nyquist. Another rider who has been an incredible presence in the world of BMX freestyle for decades.
Imagine having Ryan Nyquist as your coach. So much experience.
I can't. It's such an amazing athlete and coach and mentor, and just to see him hand off that torch to Hannah Roberts and to all the other American athletes. Let's take a recap look here. That was an incredible round and turn of events for the UCI Urban Cycling World Championships, as we saw our new crowned champion Hannah Roberts end up on top, taking it in her first run. But we see some big competition. Charlotte right there doing that huge, incredible front flip. And that flare after the buzzer. Some incredible competition, Daniel, that we saw from the women. A huge improvement as well, as we've seen since the last few years of riding. How had you taken in this entire contest day?
I think this was awesome. After 19 months of not competing at a big event and starting the party with the World Championships right before the Tokyo Games, I think this is going to put everybody in a good state of mind for the games, man. I'm happy to see the progression. The girls are riding a lot cleaner, a lot better, just bigger tricks, more consistency. Like the off-season, this last year of pandemic definitely helped them progress and just be here with much better riding. I can only imagine where they're going to take it from here in the future.
And it's something really to know. We've been in, everyone in the world has been in such an incredibly difficult mental position, let's say, with this pandemic, putting a hold on our normality of life. But being able to see some people push through and find the positivity in their situation, being able to come back here and see the progression in women's BMX and in BMX freestyle altogether. You see out here Hannah Roberts coming out as your crowned 2021 Urban Cycling World Championship, doing it in Montpellier, France. Nikita Ducros in second place with a world-class finish, and Great Britain's Charlotte Worthington right there in third place. So a huge, huge applause for all the women out here in the finals.
This was an amazing finals, man. They all poured their heart out here. It's incredible to see just all the effort they've been putting onto bike riding.
So we're going to take a look back at the winning run from Hannah Roberts. Just some highlights from her first run right out of the gate. You said she can do that backflip bar spin as a warm-up trick at your park in North Carolina. Look at the dominance from Hannah Roberts as she puts the USA on top and in very comfortable position leading into the 2020 Tokyo Games. I guess we're calling them the 2020 Games. We've still, we've just postponed the date into 2021.
You are correct. Hannah just flowing the course, man. I'm very happy for her. I know how much she wanted this World Championship.
360 tuck no hander.
She won 2017, got second in 18, and that was the fuel that lit this fire. She just does not want to stop.
Wow,
winning events, so.
Wow, and it doesn't seem to be ending. Let's see if we can get a word from herself down on the course.
What a run for the American. Hannah Roberts, you've done it again. Back-to-back World Championships. How does it feel?
I mean, honestly, it feels great. We had a lot of extra time to work, and I'm glad everything worked out. And yeah, I couldn't be more stoked, so thanks.
A lot has happened in the last year and a half. You've made the move. You've been training a lot. What prepared you for this moment?
You know, all the training, all the gym work, and everything that we've been doing has been, you know, what made this so smooth. But also like taking care of my mental health and doing things to mentally be stronger as well as physically. That tied the knot on this, and luckily it got me the win, and I'm so grateful. So yeah.
Well, you're so inspiring to young women all over the world, especially over the last 2 years that you've had. What advice do you have to any young women that are out there watching that are considering getting involved in BMX?
You know, give it a shot. This sport is so amazing. You build a family out of it. So find people that really motivate you, do your best, and never give up, because, I mean, one day you could be out on the world stage doing things like this. So yeah, just give it a shot. Congratulations, you earned it. We'll see you in Tokyo. Bye. Give it up for one more time for Hannah Roberts,
what an incredible word, you know, presence coming out of Hannah Roberts at the end there. So inspirational for any women looking to get into the sport, and just showing you how incredible the family is of freestyle BMX. And yeah, I just want to thank everyone for tuning in and watching the incredible event out here, the UCI 2021 Urban Cycling World Championships presented by FIS. This was the Women's Pro BMX Freestyle Park Finals. It was Daniel Dares out here in the booth. Daniel, thanks so much for tuning in and helping me out here.
Thank you, Ryan. It was a pleasure. It was awesome to watch the event from this side of the world. It's amazing.
Yeah, so I hope as well we're going to be able to get some more input from Daniel as we move forward in the events. But thanks, you guys, on behalf of everyone out here at the UCI. Thanks for tuning in.
bem com os parceiros do lado. Se ontem eu fiquei naquela, se eu compro ou não com dinheiro contado. Depois quero tá de mansão, mas sei que esse caminho não é muito fácil. Hoje só jogo na fé, esse meu talento ainda vai ser caro. Produzo meu sonho na madruga, ser independente, não é mole meu passo. Formulo mais um plano B, que se esse der errado eu sei que nós se lasca. Mas não quero saber de nada, é mergulho no walk pra tirar o estresse. Se o corre não der uma virada, mano, que se foda, essa letra esquece. Junto uma grana pra comprar um boot da hora, eu preciso amortecer. Mano, é que a vida te ensina, só quero tá bem com os parceiros do lado. Se ontem eu fiquei naquela, se eu compro ou não com dinheiro contado. Depois quero tá de mansão, mas sei que esse caminho não é muito fácil. Hoje só jogo na fé, esse meu talento ainda vai ser caro. Produzo meu sonho na madruga, ser independente, não é mole meu passo. Formulo mais um plano B, que se esse der errado eu sei que nós se lasca. Mas não quero saber de nada, é mergulho.